Right, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have just sat down to start editing this vlog and I have lost the introduction to this video. So let's do a little brief update into what this video is. So this video I filmed at the end of last year, and essentially I wanted to try and read 100 pages in one day, which is not normal for me. I can probably read about 20 to 40 pages in a day. I really don't have that bandwidth or the time to read so much. So this is me trying. I filmed this between Christmas and New Year when I had the days and time to do it. And I was reading Tough Guys as the first book, which is what we're going to go into next. And I also set a timer to see how long it would take me to read 100 pages out of just curiosity. So with that being said, here is what I filmed on that day, and we're going to be starting off with me when I've just finished my first chunk of reading. So we're going to go straight into it. The first part of the video obviously is missing, and we're just going to pick up straight off in the middle, I guess. All I've done is chosen to read Tough Guys, which is the third book in the Game Changer series, and I have been reading that, and this is my progress after I have read about of that. So let's continue on with the video. Alright, just like that, it has been 45 minutes and I have read 42 pages and I have finished Tough Guy. Now, Tough Guy was the third book in the Heated Rivalry series. So Game Changers was the first book, that followed Scott and Kit. Then the second book, which is obviously the most well known, was following Ilya and Shane. The third book has been following Ryan and Fabian, and now there's the fourth book, which I'm going to be starting probably later on today or tomorrow. So that is 42 pages down. We have 58 pages left to go. So I will be reading next up The Assassin's Blade and finish this book. It says, so obviously the pages that it says it's got on here does include like the acknowledgement things at the end. I'm not including those. So I know, I think it was meant to be like 312 pages of Tough Guy, but it actually only was 286 in reality. So that's why there were 20 pages less than I expected there to be, or 30 pages less than I expected there to be. Page 422, it doesn't say how many pages there are of this, does it, anywhere? Ooh, let's have a look and I can find it. It says 451 pages, but of course that probably includes the acknowledgements and things after the end of the book as well. So I'm reckoning it's still going to be roughly around 30 pages to go, so I think that'll be easy to do. It also tells me that I should finish this in... I should be finishing this in the next hour, probably, most likely. So I am going to read Assassin's Blade next up. Also, you may have noticed, elephant in the room, I do have a new Kindle. This is being filmed just after Christmas. It's literally the 28th of December right now. You're seeing this probably at the end of January or within February time, most likely. And yeah, I've still got, you know, Christmas trees still up, everything's still going on, and I got this for Christmas. Anyway, I also got like £30 of Kindle vouchers, so I'm using it right now. We are going to continue. Let's continue on with the Assassin's Blade. Now I'm on the 5th story within Assassin's Blade that follows Selena and Sam. It's not really a spoiler as it is a prequel, but I know this book was technically, was it the the third or the fourth book in the series released, but I'm reading it as the first book. So we are on chapter 12, as you can see, and yeah, I'm gonna read. I've got 7% left of this, so not long of this left either. So I'm going to restart the timer, and here we go. Okay. Let's see how fast this takes me. Okay, actually, I'm back much sooner than I thought I was going to be. That was only 15 pages. Only 15 pages. So we are now at a total of 42 plus 15, because I can't do maths, I'm just doing it on my phone. We're at 57 pages. So we have a little while to go. I will be reading a bit of 3 holidays and a wedding. We're on page 273, and we have... Okay, I won't be finishing this book then. I'll be close to finishing it, but I won't be finishing it. Okay, that's great. I'm gonna be reading this then for the next... how many pages? 43 pages? I'll be reading this. So there we go, that's what we're going to end this on. I'm actually really proud of myself for finishing those 2 books. Obviously, I'm filming this at the end of December. This has actually pushed my reading of the year up to 37 books. So, okay, so let's debrief really quickly about this Assassin's Blade. So, I actually found it really difficult going from A Court of Thorn and Roses, that entire series, which I absolutely adored and loved. And then I moved on to The Assassin's Blade, as that was the one that everyone was recommending you should read first. And I really struggled. I really found it hard to kind of get into this book, not gonna lie. And I think it's because it's just different to A Court of Thorn and Roses. I will try and read it. Hopefully, I'm hoping it gets better in like the main series. Obviously, these were like 5 like short stories, and were like a prequel to the whole actual story. So it's nice, I guess, at the moment to kind of get like the history before I read the main stories. And I think each book, each of the 5 little mini stories, I think are quite good in explaining things that happen in the main stories, in the main books. So yeah, anyway, it's a good book, don't get me wrong, it's a good premise. I just found it really hard to stick to, and I did take a few breaks from reading it. I was just going like, because it was like technically 5 little mini stories, I was going mini story, and then like giving breaks between each of them and not like reading it all at once, because I just wasn't really that attached to it. But anyway, happy to say that's now done, and I will be going on to the next book soon anyway, as it is. So anyway, okay, so the next book we're going to look into is 3 Holidays and a Wedding, which basically is based around Christmas, Hanukkah and Ramadan all happening at the same time. So there's 3 holidays, and a wedding being that one of the characters, her sister, is meant to be getting married, and that's the wedding. What they don't also include is that it also mentions a play that they're doing, and that they are stuck in a snowstorm in a town called Snowfalls in Canada. They're stuck in a snowstorm. They basically diverted. I think they were meant to go to Toronto, maybe, potentially, I can't remember now. They were meant to go to like one of the main cities, and they got diverted to Snowfalls because of the snowstorm, and everything was like shut down, airplanes weren't going off, and there was no like service, no power lines of the phones were down and things like that. Anyway, so okay, it basically follows 2 POVs. It follows Anna, who is a girly who has a boyfriend who she's not really into and is like seriously considering kind of like her future with him, and she finds a ring that's not actually for her in his bag when they're about to leave, and his family is pretty uptight, and she's just questioning things. She's got her, and then we have Mariam. So Anna is the one that celebrates Hanukkah, and then we have Mariam, who celebrates Ramadan. She's there with her entire family. Anna's just by herself because her boyfriend already left to go to Toronto before she did. I think it's Toronto anyway. Already left to go away before she did, so she was alone. She lost her luggage also on the plane. We should say this. She also lost her luggage. It didn't make it onto the plane. So then we had Mariam, who was is a sister, big sister, I think, I can't remember, and she's got her sister they're going to go somewhere for her wedding. I think it's Toronto or Montreal, one of the two, I can't remember. They were on the way to her wedding, and Mariam obviously has her, because they're very, like, you know, very, what's the word, traditional, I guess. You know, you've got her grandparents, her parents, you've got her her siblings, and like other guests that are all going to the wedding at this snowbound place. Her husband to be is already where the wedding's going to be, so she was going to go there, and so she's freaking out a little bit. Mariam is the sister who has a bit more of an uptight kind of personality, but then we do kind of find like more history of why she's like this in the book, which I find really good. Also, this is kind of like, you know, a Christmassy feel-good book. So this book, I have about 80 pages left, so we'll definitely be finishing this soon, but not today. I feel like this is like the turning point of the book, where Anna has just broken up with her boyfriend Nick, who came to try and get her and take her away, and proposed to her with a different ring, a ring that is not the ring that she found. So she's ended things with him, and I believe they're now about to start putting on this play. I have no idea why this play is coming to play, to be honest, but okay, whatever. Just to add a little sprinkle of something else into this book for no reason, but anyway, that's what's happening. It's also Christmas Eve, it's December the 24th, and yeah, so I am going to read this. We're starting off, or this chapter is from Mariam's POV, so every chapter it goes like between the two of them. So next chapter will be Anna, after that will be Mariam, and so forth. It goes back and forth, which I think is really nice actually. I read this, when I started reading this, I didn't read like the synopsis or whatever it's called, you know, the little bit at the back of the book, you know, that tells you what the book is about. I thought it was going to be 3 POVs, 3 different sets of guests going to like a foreign destination for a wedding, and I thought the wedding was going to be what's going to bring them all together. Completely different book, but anyway, there we go. That's my little tidbit for you. I'm gonna go read. I will catch you guys shortly. Alright, I have reached 100 pages, and it took me, how long did it take me? It took me 2 hours and 56 minutes to complete this challenge, as said here. Ooh. There we go. As shown here. 2 hours, 56 minutes, 24 seconds. I'm actually in the middle of a chapter, so I'm going to finish the chapter and we'll end it there. But I do have 14% of the book left to go, which is not too bad going. I'll definitely be finishing this in a couple of days. I'm going to go back to the series that I'm enjoying reading though, but I'm glad to have got a little bit further in this book. But yeah, there we go, that was me reading 100 pages. So there we go. It wasn't exactly very clean because it was over 3 different books. It wasn't exactly one book. I'm reading 100 pages of that said book, but I have completed 2 books and I have got further on in another book. So I'm pretty happy. I've made some solid progress, especially before the year ends. Of course, you guys are probably seeing this probably in a couple of months, so this might be a little bit outdated by that point. I feel like for the 3 holidays and wedding story, it is beginning to finalise, and I think we're definitely coming to the end anyway, so that's not got too far. It says I've got an hour left of reading, which is not too bad. Actually, to be fair, I could finish that today. But I'm going to end the video here, and as I have completed the 100 pages challenge, it actually did not take me as long as I thought it would. I feel like I have definitely got better at it, but also I was reading books that I can read through fast. There's some books that I struggle with that do take me a little bit longer to read. I am gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. It wasn't as probably aesthetic as I was hoping it would be. All I did was sit on my couch and read. I didn't really think about making multiple camera shots, but anyway, I did it. I read 100 pages. I'm pretty happy about that, and it's probably the most I've read in a day in quite a long time, at one time as well. Usually I'm reading, I'm reading throughout the day or like in the evening, but I'm usually doing like tasks in between, and so I'm probably reading like 20-minute snippets. So sitting down and reading for 3 hours straight, it's pretty rare. Anyway, as you can tell, it's now dark. I'm gonna go make myself some dinner, and I will catch you next time. Bye!